So, from where should I begin? There are manga we read for pure entertainment. Stuff like Spy Family, Kaguya-sama, One Punch Man. These mangas are filled with comedy, slice of life, and some other themes pertaining to the genre. Then there are manga one might read just so they can expand their horizons and really just get some sort of motivation. Or if you are like Joey, you might just read them for the sake of it. Stuff like Bleach, Naruto, Monster, Berserk. Mangas of such nature primarily come to mind when talking about such manga. But then there's another kind of manga. Manga that ain't just a manga, but more so an hentai. Such mangas don't just exist for the entertainment purposes of your mind, but also your entire body. But within this cesspool of tentacles and desires, there lurks another different kind of manga. And this time, it's the very evangelion of this hidden genre of horror combined with things such as scats, and others of such nature. Metamorphosis. The plot of Metamorphosis, despite it being a cultural weeb garbage, is somehow very compelling. I mean, it does have at its core the images we all wanna look at, but at the same time, it does end up having a pretty dark, tragic tale amidst all this crappy in action. So, Metamorphosis is about our main protagonist, this high schooler girl named Glasses. I mean, Saki Yoshida, who then removes her glasses, gets a haircut, and becomes Princess, who is still named Saki Yoshida. And despite being the same person, the amounts of attention she starts to gain just fucks her completely. On her very first day as a high schooler, she ends up getting her lower cheeks being clapped by an older dude whom she had just met, who then proceeds to feed her some weird pill, which makes her start doing. Without wasting any moment, the girl becomes addicted to that shit and thus becoming what every great philosopher in history would think she has become. A slurp. A slurp. Okay, I think I should stop slurping. There you go. But if you thought that was the end of Metamorphosis, you were sadly mistaken. Cause that was just the very beginning. The story soon takes a dark turn, and the next thing we know, this thing has turned into an ugly bastard. The sound, the resistance, NTR, it's all there. And yet, it oddly feels satisfying. You hate, you despise, you even feel like cutting off your weenie, but for some reason, it won't settle down. Just like that annoying grade schooler from your class, it just won't settle down. But that ain't even the worst of it yet, cause just in the very next chapter, the father comes in, and with his disgusting mouth, after panels and panels of some 3-rate cheap ass clapping, we skip to school. And within those walls, that day, all this clapping and fuckery annoys the other girls, who all feel cucked, cheated, and envious of Saki. And then we simply start watching a silent voice. Completely devastated and torn to shreds, Saki runs off to her mother, only to find out her mom found out about her and her dad raping her. But instead of punishing the fucking ass pig, she punishes the innocent daughter Saki. I mean, was she really innocent? Well, whatever. After that, Saki starts living with the shady guy from before, who gets Saki involved with Yakuza, drug dealers, and some seriously messed up ways of debt collection. Girl gets her skin inked, hairs dyed, holes pierced, and on top of all that, she becomes addicted to all sorts of weird drugs. Heroin, specifically. After that, her life becomes an absolute hell, with her getting fucked, robbed, aborted, and ultimately dumped like that tissue paper you might have used after vaping with your VV. Sadly, that ain't the end of the story either. Within the influence of heroin, not having a place to call home, and in a completely vulnerable state, Saki finds herself getting cheated again, but this time by the lowest of the low. But somehow these people ain't all that vile or disgusting as one might think. They even give her shelter and food for the time being, despite not having any idea who she was in the first place. Now pregnant with a complete stranger's child, Saki ends up on a crossroad. Will she now abort her second child as well, like the last time, and stay on this course of life? Or will she change her ways, quit heroin, and raise the kid like a proper parent? and our female protagonist picks the latter. And this was the moment which, in my eyes, made Metamorphosis from a borderline crap mid-okayish hentai to something that was deserving of appraisal. After that, for months she collects money, doing the only thing she knows, only to in the end having all her money looted from her former classmates. But again, looting money was just a part of what they did. They allegedly beat the living shit out of her, put a plastic bottle up a certain well, and then take all the money and leave, without even realizing who this random stranger they just beat the living crap out of was. In this state of pain and suffering, Saki then ends her life taking her very last heroin injection, going in a dream where her ideal future ends up becoming a reality. Yep, that's pretty much how Metamorphosis ends. Now, as for my criticism of the manga, I felt like a lot of the times the suffering and pain of Saki was shown in such a manner that it felt forced for some reason. Like, no students going to school on this planet act like this. But then again, it's a very certain kind of manga, so what would one expect? The manga did a fine job in highlighting certain problems from the Japanese society and modern society in general, in a way that speaks for itself. The concept of demon youth, prostitution, hookup culture, and even stuff like drug addiction and organized crime are depicted in ways in which they should be, unlike certain very harmful media, as we humans often expose ourselves to. Well, that's all I have to say in this video. Like, subscribe, and share the video if by any means this had any impact on you. As always, peace.